Oh, there you are, Peter. When I was in around first or second grade, my parents took me to go see a film that they thought would be entertaining. It had some actors that they recognized, it was a story that they were decently familiar with, they thought it would be some nice, wholesome family fun. What they didn't realize is that this movie was, and still is, a cinematic masterpiece, with a cast that is nothing less than perfect, a score that still brings me back to a time when everything was still new and exciting, because in your 30s, not everything is. And that movie is Hook. Robin Williams will forever be, in my opinion, one of the best actors, comedians, whatever you want to call him, that ever lived. He had the ability to make us laugh hysterically and cry in the same movie. One scene that sticks out to me in particular is right after he meets the mermaids, they put him in this gigantic seashell and they lift him up onto dry land. And right after he gets spit out of the seashell, he walks over to this little hill and he climbs up the hill and he looks out onto Neverland for the first time. Now, shortly after that, Robin Williams meets all of the Lost Boys. No, not those Lost Boys, although I am a very big fan of this film and I do happen to love the Coreys. Maybe we'll talk about this one day. But I'm talking about these Lost Boys. And that, of course, means their leader. Rufio is arguably the most important character right after Peter. His existence plays an important role in Peter's life, not only in Hook, but before it. Peter left Rufio in charge when he decided to leave Neverland. That is a crazy big responsibility. That shows trust. That shows friendship. And with the relationship that they had, Peter knew that Rufio would be able to handle it. He knew that he would be able to take on this responsibility of protecting the Lost Boys. This bond, this friendship has always made me want to see a film where we can see Peter and we can see Rufio as best friends literally running Neverland. And now, after almost a quarter of a century later, Dante Basco, who plays Rufio, has teamed up with writer-director Jonah Feingold to create a Rufio origin movie. And it's called Bangerang. There is a little teaser trailer that's already online where Dante Basco narrates a little short segment of what I believe this movie is going to be, and he actually refers to himself as Rufus. So I'm guessing Rufio was not even his real name. That's kind of his Lost Boy name. So the production of this movie is really based on how many people really want to see it and who's willing to support the creation of it. The production team has created a Kickstarter to get the ball rolling, and they've already hit their goal of $30,000. So they've already begun pre-production and they're already doing open casting. As of right now, they're looking for someone to play Rufio, or Rufus, who is going to be 13 years old, and two of Rufio's friends. I am so excited about this movie. I'm a little bit upset that it took this long to make it, because when I was growing up, when I was really little, I always wanted to play that part. I always wanted to be young Rufio. Surprisingly, young Dante Basco and young me kind of looked decently similar. A much younger and skinnier me. And in this video, it's almost like an interview setting where Dante Basco is sitting with the writer and director, Jonah Feingold, and they're kind of talking about how excited they are to make the movie and what it's going to be like. And they also talk about casting and how they're really excited to meet all the kids that they're going to be getting to play young Rufio and all the other Lost Boys, and I'm guessing Peter also. And the whole time I'm like, oh man, that could have been me! So I am very excited to see an official trailer. And when it actually comes out, I'm definitely going to do a review about it. Now, as excited as I am about this movie, I do want to cycle back to Hook for a moment because this movie is very special to me. And in particular, I want to talk about the scene where Peter starts to realize who he is. When he starts to remember that he is the pen. And this is where I feel all the feels. Now, I thought it was all of the beautiful compositions paired up with the shots of him flying through the air that made me feel nostalgic and happy and like a kid again. But as I thought more about it, I started to realize that it represents so much more, and I think I see it now because I'm older now. As we grow into adults, we start to forget who we were because we're so focused on who we want to be. We lose our innocence. We lose our imagination. We start replacing our dreams with practicality. And that is the Peter that Robin Williams is playing in the beginning of the movie to a T. In fact, he's moved on so much that he doesn't even remember being Peter Pan. He doesn't remember Neverland. He doesn't remember the Lost Boys or killing pirates, fighting Hook, because he's pushed on so much to adulthood. But in this scene, in this very special scene, Peter starts to remember his past. He remembers Tink taking him to Neverland. He remembers all of the fun he had with Wendy and the Lost Boys and all the adventures that they went on. But more importantly, he remembers why he left it all behind. He remembers falling in love with Moira. He remembers the birth of his children and the family that he started. And this, and only this, is the reason why he remembers how to fly. And that's why I think this movie's so amazing. I mean, you have this fantasy aspect of the film that's obviously catered towards children. I mean, it's Peter Pan, there's flying, there's Lost Boys, there's pirates. But then you have this very real element for the adult audience. Don't let your career ambitions or the things that you want to become start clouding you from what you have right in front of you. Are there any other Hook fans out there? Any of you that would be interested in seeing a prequel film solely based on Rufio? I am super excited about this new Rufio movie, and I hope that you are too, especially if you are a Hook fan, if you really did like the original movie as much as I did. Feel free to leave your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm definitely going to be doing a review when the trailer comes out. You can follow me on Instagram at GeekLevelAsian, and I'll see you next time.